Hey all, it's Debbie Happy Cohen here with Joy Based Living, and I've been talking about CPTSD a lot lately, and the book Sanctuary, which covers a lot about post-traumatic stress. It's a wonderful gateway to healing. It will offer you a lot of definitions and resources and all kinds of things. But what I want to talk about today is many people that I know who I work with and who are friends with me are people who are spiritually oriented, who have touched into higher states of being through meditation or through just altered states of consciousness or raising the vibration. And I don't mean with drugs, although that can happen too. I mean just that state of magic and bliss. And for most of us, I think we want a more steady experience in that. And I wanted to talk about that today in relationship with post-traumatic stress. What I'm discovering is that complex post-traumatic stress response, more officially it's called disorder, when you have that, it's like a really harsh inner critic that doesn't always sound like an inner critic. Sometimes it just feels like fog came over you, or it can feel like all of a sudden you just want to fight out of nowhere, or you are, it's the 4 Fs: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And if you're not handling that directly, it's going to keep taking you down off of your magical highs. And let me be clear, I'm not talking about magical high just for the sake of feeling good, although it's totally worth it just for that. I'm talking about that magical high as a sense of receptivity to a greater part of ourselves, our intuition, our sense of knowing, our sense of walking about the world, just feeling relaxed and at ease and good, no matter what's going on around us. And what I wanted to share in this video, I wanted to keep it short and offer up the idea that yes, this is complex, but I think those of you who are experiencing it will understand what I'm talking about. You have to dismantle the voice of intense criticism because it was designed to keep you safe. It was designed by keeping you small. And if it only shows up as a fog or as a fight or a flight or people pleasing, fawn is the 4th F, that's people pleasing, then you're not going to be able to take it down strong enough and let it have a new job. The new job should be to be supportive. I want to credit Richard Grannon, his Heal the Superego course, which he got from the idea, which he got from Pete Walker's book, Complex Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, which is entering that state of mindfulness, of being aware of what it is that you feel, what it is that you're experiencing at any given moment in time. Once that's handled and dismantled, then you can go as high as you want. When you're in those higher vibrations, that's where you get the receptivity of higher levels of intuition, not just the intuition about, don't turn left at that corner or, whatever. But the higher levels of here's my purpose, here's what I'm here to do, here's what I'm here to experience in the world, here's what I'm here to contribute. Your life becomes more heartful and it becomes more coherent, it becomes more fluid and more magical. So one of the hardest things to deal with when you're dismantling the voice of post-traumatic stress, the harsh inner critic, is that through the mindfulness of what you're experiencing, what may come up inside of you is shame, blame. Spiritual people don't like blame, man. We do not like blame. And grief. And nobody that I know likes grief. But to let yourself hug the fear of those things. Hug yourself in that fear and go, no, I have a ferocity of intent for total self-acceptance, and that includes the harsher parts of me, and that includes the most beautiful parts of me. And to have access to those more beautiful parts more consistently, I've got to recognize the voice for what it is. Now, it may sound like somebody in your life who was abusive, or it might not have a particular voice. It could have different voices. It can have cultural conditioning. But if you're dealing with complex post-traumatic stress, you know what I'm talking about. Let that invisible nature of it become a red flag. And when it becomes a red flag, then you go, oh, red flag, got it. No, I don't want to go that way. I want to go the other way. Now, the other tricky thing that happens is sometimes, I know for me this is true, I've seen a red flag, or you see the red flag and you go anyway. You're like, yeah, I know there's 20 red flags there, but I'm going to go there anyway. Because there's something exciting or beautiful about that, going in that direction. That's okay. You'll get other chances. But see the red flags as a offering, as an opportunity to say, okay, what's the voice under this? What's the feeling under this? It's usually going to be associated with a sense of fear, unworthiness, shame, something like that. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself heal it, so that when the higher vibrations enter your world through beauty, through love, through the magic of life, because you know what I'm talking about. You people are more attuned to it than anybody else I know. That when that comes up, you can not just welcome it, but you can allow it to grow and generate more of those same feelings, which puts you in a greater sense of ability to contribute, which creates a positive momentum and a positive cycle of growing, developing, and moving into your future. Thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. I would love any questions or any thoughts about this that are sincere and real and thoughtful. And thank you for being with me on this journey. Say one more thing. Isolation is the killer in this game. And sometimes I don't realize, sometimes people I work with don't realize, like, oh my gosh, when I was in that fog, I thought everything's fine, but then I realized afterwards I was isolating. If you can recognize when you're isolating and get yourself out of it quicker, you're going to heal quicker. Isolation is how many of us survived. And I don't just mean isolation like I need to actually not be around people, but the isolation of I am alone in all of this. Because you can be in a room full of people and still be doing isolation. I mean, recognizing, am I experiencing something that I feel so alone in that it makes me feel either worthless or different than other people? One of the reasons I wrote the Sanctuary book, which you can for now download for free at Joy Based Living, is to encourage people to step out of isolation, to give you talking points, to go, oh, here are some 4 mantras that we can do together. Oh, here is an intrepid glossary of psychological jargon that you can befriend somebody else and say, hey, can I share this with you? And if you can find somebody to share those concepts with in a place of safety, in an arena, a sensation of safety, that will be a sense of sanctuary on the psychological level, and then you can more easily step into the spiritual and the heartful and the higher vibrations. And some of that you'll do by yourself, and some of that you can do together as well. The feeling of safety is what creates sanctuary. So you want to create that in yourself, and you want to find relationships where you can have that as well. It's a game changer. And I wish you well on your journey. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.